Romeo, take me somewhere we can be alone. I'll be waiting for you, but you never, 'cause this in my head. I don't know what you're thinking now. To the ground and pulled out a ring and said, Romeo, take me.
He said, marry me, Juliet. You'll
Never.
never have to be alone. I love you, and that's all I really know. I talked to your dad. Go pick out a white dress. It's a love story, baby. Just say yes. Do you dare disrespect Taylor in my recording booth? Are you fucking kidding me? I'm watching.
Hello, and welcome back to Xpwaste, where you can get your Quest cape while wearing a Quest headset by Meta at a Quest Diagnostics getting blood work done. I'm Michael.
And I'm going to get some blood work done. Hi, I'm Oxie. If you guys are new around here, we're a podcast that talks almost exclusively about old school RuneScape. We say almost exclusively because we're prone to tangents. We're so distractible that I can't even keep my eyes on the camera while doing this intro because I'm drift net fishing while doing this little intro for you guys. If you're not new around here, Michael yelled at me for not having my microphone in the right spot. And I'm hoping I'm so ungodly loud throughout this entire episode. Just to prove a point. But that is neither here nor there. How have you been, Michael? I know we got to do it quick. It's Friday night. We're trying to.
Well, okay.
Give us a synopsis.
Before we get into my week, I need you to right click, look up my name on RuneLight.
Swear to God.
Scroll all the way to the bottom, and tell me my KC. I worked hard for that today.
I tried to search myself. LOL. What's your name? MICAAL.
MICHAAL.
Oh my God. His first 100 Zulrah KC ever. Holy shit.
On this account.
Ever. His first ever
it's
real
not ever,
Zulrah
dude.
KC.
It's not ever.
God damn.
I guess if you say that like Bofa and TiVo only are not real, but they are. This is the most grindy Zulrah KC I've ever done. Full switches. I was doing 6-ways for a while for like maybe 10 or 15 kills, and there was no noticeable difference in efficiency. Like I was still getting past the Jad phase into multiple rotations with doing 6-ways. And I mean, I added like a helmet basically, and then another like an offhand switch. It's not like the gear that I was adding was not making a huge difference. It was an extra 1% magic damage. So obviously it was just, I thought, oh, I'm getting better at Zulrah. I could add switches. No, I'm sticking with the 4-way, and 2 times, I think, I've gotten 2 kill trips, which was so pog.
It's been 84 years for Michael to get these KC with. How much food are you using as Zulrah right now?
You don't want to know.
Really?
I take in 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I take in 12 food, and I use between all of it
12 food out of 28 slots. What else are you taking?
I mean, I
only take 12 food. I take 6-ways.
So I have a 4-way, and then I have 2 Guthix Rest. I have a Ranging Potion, a Prayer Potion, and a Emergency Brew and Restore, which I have had to dip into because sometimes the blue phase just messes you up with those stupid range hits. And then I have 12 food, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yep. And then I have my Drama Staff, House Tellies, Book of the Dead, and my Rune Pouch. So my full inventory. So if I brought like an anti-poison or antidote plus and maybe like less fluff, I could do more consistent 2-ways or two kill trips. But I'm comfortable doing a 1 kill trip every time Takes about 3 minutes per kill. And then I tele back to my house. I tele to the bank. I rebank. I get full everything. Yeah, it's been fun. 100 KC. And what is that, like 3 minutes per kill, 300 minutes?
5 hours.
Okay. It's felt longer because obviously like I have to bank and I have to run there, and it's not like 3 minutes back to back to back.
No, is that right? Maybe. I don't know.
Hold on. 300.
I'm just trying to think of the kills per hour. I think it's probably
Divided by
more than 5
60.
hours realistically, because we're
Oh,
not
yeah, for
factoring
sure.
in the travel time to get there. But so it's 500
the
hours
first-
being in the Zulrah U thing.
Yeah, 500.
Or five,
yeah, 5
5
hours,
hours,
in
not
the,
500 hours.
in the 5 hours in the horseshoe.
Yeah.
My favorite rotation is the one where it's green in the middle. It always starts green in the middle. And then it's green on the left. And then it goes into the red phase and then blue. Because that has the most green phases out of all of them. My least favorite is it's when it's the blue phase on the left.
I knew you were
'Cause
that's the speed run phase. I had a
Is it really?
You weren't gonna like that one, yeah. That's the
Why is
speed
that
run
the speed
phase.
run?
I think the world record, it might be Kirby right now. You open with, it may have been pre-Shadow though, so I don't know. You open with like Harm Orb, and then as soon as it switches over to blue, you Dragon Throne Axe spec, and then T-bow it to Oblivion, and then when green phase comes up, you can either continue to T-bow it or use Harm Orb or Shadow. Because you get like the red phase is bad for Twisted Bow. So
Gotcha.
you get green, blue, you can have it dead by then. So
I see. So it's like, it's not you can have it dead by the time
you can
would
have
red
it
phase.
dead by the final. You could have it dead by the green phase if you're quick enough. But
my gosh.
yeah.
I'm almost always getting into the extra rotations. There have been a couple of times where I killed it either in the Jad phase or right before the Jad phase, and I was very excited. And those are the times where I go for the second kill. Now, out of the 3 or 4 times that I've gone for a back-to-back kill, I've died twice. So I'm only 50% successful in the back to back.
He's got two kill trips under his belt.
Two kill trips. One of them I died as Zulrah died.
So he's got 1 2 kill trip under his belt, boys.
I mean I killed it.
2 kill trip.
I got the KC.
You didn't get the loot though.
No, I didn't. It was coconuts. My heart was I was gonna cry if I actually
Collection
saw
log slot for a
collection log
blowpipe
pop
does
up.
not count for the fire making bet. So if you get a blowpipe when you die, whomp, whomp, I don't know what to tell you.
I have to
That's
play
not
it more
gonna
safe.
happen.
Play it more safe. Other than Zulrah, I am 200k till 97 mining. And those are pretty much the only 2 things I've been doing in the game. Is mining when I'm at work and when I'm AFK. And then I've been killing Zulrah when I had computer time. Oh no, I lied. Actually, I've been doing Pyramid Plunder. Sorry, I've been mixing it up between Zulrah and Pyramid Plunder. I'm almost 74 thieving. So I wish there was like a KC tracker for how many chests you've looted, but I was doing the math with there is?
Pyramid Plunder,
Pyramid Plunder?
Counter.
Oh.
It's a plugin.
Is it a plugin? Oh.
Mm-hmm. It mainly shows your total percent chance to get a Pharaoh's Scepter. But it does show the amount that you've opened. And I think it's from the moment you've downloaded it.
Damn.
Yeah, Tiki says so.
Pyramid
Nothing
Plunder.
you've done is counted. Get back to work. Yep.
Damn. Well, so I can only go to like the 6th room, I think. It's on the calculations on the wiki. It's like a 1 in 100 for me doing the sarcophagus and the gold chests in all of the rooms, which not bad. I feel like I've done more than 100 total chests, or like I guess it's 1 in 100 runs because it's factoring in the drop rates for all of those chests. So Pyramid Plunder, Zulrah, and mining.
If you'd have asked me as recently as last week or as long ago as like 2020, I would have believed one of those was true. But look at this man out here grinding Zoller on an Iron Man. Couldn't be more proud of him.
It's not bad. It really
What a man.
isn't. It's
What a
it's
man.
giving me lots of confidence for other things. Like in the back of my mind, I'm like, I could do Desert Treasure too. But I feel like I want to at least have the blowpipe before I do that because it was a struggle bus even on my main. But that's before we knew any of the meta. That was just like going in blind for mostly everything. So how are you this week? What have you been up to? You said you were drift net fishing. Are we 98 yet?
I've been drift net fishing. No, I tried to drift net earlier while watching YouTube and almost fell asleep. So I said, I'm not doing this. And I actually did take a nap. And then I played Valheim for a while because I said, I want to play other video games so badly. But we've been doing all right. We are pushing along. We are gonna hit 98 this episode. I have 150K and I'm currently cracking off 72K an hour because I haven't reset my hourly rate. So it's probably closer to 80, but yeah, that's literally been it. I streamed on Wednesday, last week Wednesday, and the stream went great. And I literally just did drift netting for like 3 hours. That's just all we did on stream. So the macro efficiency is kicking in. I think, like I said on stream, by the time I'm 99 fishing with DriftNet, I should be 90, either 96 or really close to 96 Hunter. So we'll be close there, and then we can just spend more time doing whatever. And then I guess the rune crafting starts. I guess.
Nice.
I'm kind of glad that fishing is going to be done because fishing was a skill I was worried about was going to be a really slow sleeper skill. But I think having fishing out of the way and kind of like opening myself up to like just some slow ass soul rune crafting on the iPad when I'm at work, or like redwoods on the iPad when I'm at work, is going to be helpful. So the Bibles I'm not particularly concerned about. I have the money to do it. I have 99. I might do construction next just because it go fast. But otherwise, I mean, we're still looking good. We're still looking on track. We are confident that we have to get our ass in gear. I think that's how I was explaining it on the stream, is like, we are gonna do it. I'm not really concerned that it's not going to get done, but I do know that, like, basically if we want to play other games at all, there's like a 300 or 400K daily minimum we have to get in order to like maintain that, or we have to be AFKing at the same time. So like right now I'm doing this, and I'll probably continue to drift net for a while tonight before going to bed. I'm going home this weekend because, as I said, it's Friday. We normally do like different recording schedules, but I'm going home this weekend. I'm going to a concert Sunday night, and we just like, you know what? Friday is our best day to do it. So I don't know how much I'm going to get done this weekend. Part of me wants to say I'll have 99 by the time this episode comes out.
Surely.
However, I don't know if that is going to happen. So check in with me and ask, because I don't know. I don't know if I'll have 99. I really don't. I'll either have 99 and I will be training construction or doing wood cutting or doing rune crafting, or I won't have 99 and I'll be, I'm going to say, like, probably by the time this episode comes out, if I don't have it, I'll be within like 500K. Like, I'll be decently close, because I'm like, I have 2 remote days, which if I don't see clients, I'm literally just drift net fishing. I'm AFKing at work. My Mondays are very busy at work. So I won't be getting as much AFK time, but you know, in the evenings it's tough with like fencing practice and things. But if I'm, mostly we should be good.
What's the XP per hour? for drift netting? Normal, like just like not. You said it was 72K, but
actively paying a lot of attention. Right now it's skewed because I did a little drift net earlier, not paying attention too much. But if I'm paying a lot of attention, I think I've been able to maintain like 85 to 90K at peak, like really focusing and being good with my clicks. Half paying attention, streaming, watching TV, it's like 70 to 74K an hour.
I thought it was a lot more than that, but that makes sense.
As
That's what, like
how much were you
to
thinking
15
it was
hours?
going to be?
I have no basis for it, but I was like, yeah, 150K fishing XP per hour. That's normal. I think it's
No.
150K combined, like fishing and hunter.
Combined, it's like 180, 190. Right now, I'm like full paying attention. It's 120K hunter an hour.
Oh wow!
So, like the total gains, like the EHP and like the macro efficient, getting a bunch of XP per day. That end works really well. Like when I logged out, we actually pushed back the timer on stream. We pushed back the XP per day by 6 whole K. Again, I really think that's skewed with how many buyables I have left, and I wish it was like, how much XP do you need per day to max? But more importantly, how much rune crafting XP per day do you need to max? Because like that is truly the last slow one. Because we'll 2-tick just for laughs. We'll like AFK Redwoods, hardly paying attention, has been like 80K an hour. I'm not worried about wood cutting really. Smithing, I've got Blast Furnace. I want to get the Foundry log too, so that'll be decently quick. What else do we have left? Construction is a weekend. Thieving is a weekend. Herblore is a weekend. There are also work skills, like anything I can bank stand in. Like we're huge chilling. So
Bing chilling.
Yeah. But literally that's all we've been doing. I don't think we've killed. Let me check my loot tracker. I did some clue scrolls before a session today, and I got a random hair in my ass to do Perilous Moons, and I did one single Perilous Moons chest, and I brought my full Justy just for laughs. Figured I'd take it out for a spin, because I've heard defense is supposed to be good there, and I can't afford Torva, so it was exactly the same. Nothing changed. So, oh my god, yeah, no, my loot tracker is absolutely pathetic. I saw something with like a lot of KC and a good amount of money. I'm like, all right, yeah, there it is. It's the hollowed fucking sepulcher. I've made the most money in the last probably month or two from the hollowed sepulcher. I hate it here. I don't. My words cannot describe. I'm ready to go back to PVM. I'm ready to not play RuneScape. I'm not burnt. I just don't want to be here.
Well, this is what happens when you set yourself a lofty goal.
Yeah, lofty but achievable. We'll get there.
For those of you who are new around here, Oxie is trying to max his account at RuneFest, and if RuneFest doesn't happen, he's going to be maxing his account in the UK when we inevitably still go, because we still have plane tickets. So
yeah, we're going no matter what. We're gonna be on top of the Ferris wheel, that big one, and you're gonna have to get me really drunk or pay me a lot of money to get me on the London Eye. I'm not gonna lie. It is.
Are you scared of heights?
Yeah, that's a big ask to get me on the London Eye.
I have grown up thinking that I was scared of heights, but what I think I am is scared of falling, because there are things that are way up high where I'm obviously secure and I know I'm not going to fall, that I'm not scared of. Like, I can do Ferris wheels. Like, being up that high does not bother me. But if I was to walk near like a balcony on a skyscraper and it's just like a thin railing, I can't like lean over and look down because there's the risk of falling. So I don't know if you just like, you don't like the feeling of being up high, or if you are scared of falling.
Are you really trying to get pedantic about a fear of heights?
No, I'm just trying to see if we have the same thing.
I was able to analyze that. I was able to determine that I was actually afraid of falling, not afraid of heights. It's a totally different fear. It's in line almost exactly with the fear of heights and fear of falling. They're interchangeable. It's like saying blue and cerulean, or blue and navy, or red and maroon.
They're very close. Yeah,
slightly different, but more or less
they're
the
very
exact
close.
same thing. They originate from the exact same place. But
like
it
listen,
is
like
specific.
I can go up in an airplane. There are people who are afraid of heights who don't fly because they don't like being that high. But like I can look out the window of a plane and not feel any fear.
All right.
But I don't know that I could
episode,
skydive.
Before the episode started, I would skydive if I was with a guide. I wouldn't bungee jump because I would worry that my fat ass would break the cord. Because I would break the... Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. See, Pedantic Scape has already begun. Michael said he wanted to keep this episode brief, and we're already 22 minutes into the recording.
Listen,
track.
I just said let's try.
Main title
just
content,
to have it
Michael.
What
are we talking
top
about
of mind
today? What are we talking
transition?
about today?
That was just like the most ungreased, unsmooth transition ever. We're talking about quests. If my intro is anything,
I'm not even gonna continue with
that. My intro was a little teaser for you guys, and you probably read the title, but we're back with another questing episode. We did this one like 2 years ago at this point, I think. I haven't looked back. We have our resident has listened to the podcast 4 times all the way through in the recording booth with us tonight. So I could probably ask him, Swole, when's the last time we did a quest episode?
We're
not going to wait for his answer.
He's going to pipe up and he's going to say, Maya 2022, mate. And that's about when it would be.
May of 2022.
Last time we actually broke out a list is about May of 2022. So it was like right around the time of Beneath Cursed Sands. Like in the description of the episode, I think one of us wrote something like, yeah, we totally planned this to be when Beneath Cursed Sands came out. Like we absolutely totally planned it that way. 100%. Wasn't an accident at all.
Well, cool. So, yeah. It's been a while. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Tiki said it's been a few months since you made one from scratch. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoy this commercial.
No.
We'll be
back. Don't remind him. He hates that day. Can't relive that.
The single worst episode in the Xpwaste catalog.
This is not us making a quest. This is us making a list of quests. Episode 58. Thank you, Swole, from the 29th of April, 2022. So we have... It's been 2 years and some change, and there has been a lot of quests that have come out in the game since then. Quite a few. I don't know what the numbers are here.
Some of them.
Yeah, we have a top 8 plus 2, making it a clean top 10.
Why would you word it like
it's
that?
Not even. It's not even a top 10. It's just like 10 quests that like when you're reading through the quest list jumped out at us. Because Oxie and I both made a list of 5, and then we combined them, got rid of any duplicates, and there was only 8. And I told Oxie, surely we can pick 2 more. Like, can I have a clean top 10? So we picked 2 more, 1 each, to clean 5 and 5, 70-30. I don't know.
It's also not a top 10 list, as Michael just said. We didn't take the time to rank order these, but we can.
So 9 plus 1. Anyway, Oxie, you have the list in front of you. I'm pulling it up. Why don't we start out with your first one, and then I'll go, and then you go, and then I'll go, and then you go.
Sure. I mean, look, guys. When I thought about this list, when I thought about my end, for me, it was all about the rewards, right? I'm a lore whore. I do like me a little bit of good quest dialogue. I like the stories that go into it. It's been a lot of fun. I know a lot of you cowards don't like reading the dialogue in quests. So I'm like, let's give them a reason to do some of these quests. If you are a maxed main, this episode's probably not for you. But hang out, because we're going to have a good time anyways. This is mainly aimed at folks who don't have their quest cape and are either going for it or like, oh, quests. We're trying to sell you doing these quests, okay? First on
we're really
the
bad
list,
at sales. We're gonna try.
I'm fine at sales, right? It's the
Are you?
self-promotion that I don't like.
It's part of sales, Oxie.
It's not quite the same thing because I would do this for free. I had to never mind. I would say I had to sell myself at an outreach event this past week, but we're distracting her. We're getting off topic. Anyways, first things first, it's possibly the longest quest in the game. Like if you actually think about it, I think it might be the longest quest in the game. It also offers the most rewards out of any quest in the game. It's Recipe for Disaster. Like that, surely
Nice.
that one, surely you guys had to know that one was going to be on there. We're starting off strong. It's RFD, right? What do you get from RFD? Obviously, you get Barrow's gloves. Everybody knows that, but it's more than that. There are so much more to the reward system than Barrow's gloves, which shouldn't be downplayed, right? But we'll get back to those. By the time you're ready to do Recipe for Disaster, you have finished a plethora of quests and gained a bunch of XP. You have access to Mauritania. You should have Darklight, possibly Arclight by the time you do it. Legends quest should be started or just done for that matter, right? So you have access to a bunch of different places in the game. Monkey Madness 1 is done, so you have access to a Dragon Scimitar and everything on Ape Atoll. And you have access to Ancient Magics because you've done Desert Treasure 1. So things along, you've also have Horror from the Deep, which isn't as important these days because the books aren't nearly as popular as they used to be. But in order to even do the damn quest in its entirety, you have a shit ton of rewards already available to you. For actually completing this multi-part, Infinity War level quest that was released many, many years ago, the XP reward's kind of dog shit. It's a 20k XP lamp in any skill of your choice above 50, right? There are some smaller rewards. You get access to the Mogre Camp. You get access to the Evil Chicken Lair. A notable reward from RFD is Spicy Stews. The Evil Dave subquest, you get Spicy Stews, which you are going to use until you have a Diary Cape. You will be using Stew Boost to get, diary requirements done. If you're an Iron Man, you could be using Stew Boost for a lot longer, depending on what you're trying to craft. Looking at you, Amulet of Torture. You will be using this kind of stuff all the time. Ape Atoll teleport spell, not super useful. Not because it's not useful, but because it eventually kind of gets nullified by Monkey Madness 2, right? With Monkey Madness 2, you end up getting the glider over there, which is a lot more convenient, I guess. And there's also now the fairy ring on top of the monkey course, which is cool. Nobody cares about crab meat or crabs. Nobody cares about the boat from Karamja to Feldip Hills. You get more bosses for Nightmare Zone. Don't check these off. The bosses in Nightmare Zones are horrendous. They're horrible. They're all, because you can't click one without clicking all of them. So I just want to fight the evil chicken. No, you have to fight all of them. You have every single one. Gelatinoff Mother, Agrath Nana. You have to fight all of them, along with all their stupid quirks that they bring to the final fight. So don't check these off when you're doing Nightmare Zone. But this is not a Nightmare Zone guide. Finally, the big one is Barrow's Gloves. If you're doing this quest for the first time, Barrow's Gloves are going to be your best in slot for the next couple of years, probably.
Yeah.
I think in order of how I was able to upgrade my stuff, I got Barrow's Gloves, obviously from doing the quest. And then I want to say I actually won a Tormented bracelet back when Scape had the dual arena money and did a Tormented giveaway. And then I was streaming in 2020, I think. And Immortal yelled at me for not having Ferocious Gloves. So I spent my entire cash stack of 8 mil on Ferocious Gloves. And with a 5.2, 5.3-ish bill bank, I still don't have Zarite Van Braces. You will use Barrow's gloves for a long damn time. I still use them in my range setups, right? They're not to be understated how powerful and important they are, especially for a mid-game account. Holy shit. They're like the upgrade to get. So as far as quests and quest rewards go, XP is all right. Like each quest, each little sub quest has its own set of rewards that come along with it, right? Like tiny little like XP things here and there. You get a little bit of farming, you get a little bit of cooking. There's nowhere on the wiki that I'm looking at right now that shows the full list of rewards, like the full list of XP rewards you get from completing all the quests. So if you guys want to go to the wiki page for RFD and look exactly what the rewards are, go for it. You don't have to do it all at once. I thought it was fun to do it all at once just because, like, why not? But if you're looking for specific XP rewards, if you're on a newer account, or if you don't have all the requirements yet, this quest is unique in that you can start it whenever and do bits and pieces of it incrementally whenever. I know you can start quests without needing to finish them immediately, but there are a lot of quests in the game you're not allowed to start until you have all the requirements for. RFD is not one of those quests. Go do it, guys. It's long. It's a lot of dialogue. You're going to be on the wiki for a long time. I cannot stress this enough. Go do this quest. It's probably my number one. Like, you have to, best rewards you're going to get are probably from this quest.
Fun fact, when you finish this quest, all 10 of them, there's cooking utensils that you can buy from the Colomancer's chest that are the equivalent to rune weapons. So if you do this quest early enough and you're still rocking the rune scimitar, you can upgrade that bad boy to, what is it? A rune or a kitchen knife, I think, is the equivalent to a rune simi. No, that's a rune dagger.
Michael.
A rolling pin?
Michael.
A rune mace. Anyway, you could it's just fun weapons. Like a meat tenderizer is the same as like a rune warhammer. You can have a kitchen knife, a rolling pin, a frying pan. They're silly weapons. So in a different time, these were probably, hey, I don't want to kill fire giants for a rune scimitar. I'm just going to do recipe for disaster. And you have yourself a rolling pin.
That seems way harder. That's like, damn, dude, I really don't want to drive to work. I think I'm going to build a fucking airplane and just fly, like learn to fly and then fly there myself. Because I don't really feel like driving there today. That's so
Which one is more fun?
Convoluted and out of the way. You also have a monkey madness done when you do RFD.
That's true.
So, like,
I didn't consider that, okay? You can just buy the rune scimitar. Oh, man. Forgot about that.
Good God.
Well, if you're looking to impress your friends at your next wilderness clan PvP event, bring out the rolling pin and hit your max hit with what would have been a rune mace. And they're like, wow, where'd you get that weapon? And you tell them the Xpwaste podcast sent you, and now you know something they don't. So that's...
Maybe don't mention the Xpwaste podcast, because when you break out the frying pan and then you get double Void Wakered right back to Lumbridge, I don't know if I personally want to be associated with that. So maybe
I do.
Mention us.
So
maybe don't mention us in your next
PvP
escapade with the frying pan.
The difference of opinion, I guess.
You know who would be cool to watch PK with a frying pan? Messiah, if you're out there, break out the RFD weapons in the Rev Caves and just kill someone with one of those, because that'd be funny.
Please do.
Right there.
Please do. That would be hilarious. You also have access to a plethora of different gloves before you get to Barrow's gloves that can carry you through wilderness content if you're scared of losing your precious gloves.
That is true. Yeah. Buy yourself a good stack of rune gloves for wilderness content.
Yep. They'll carry you and they're very cheap. You won't, it's not a big hit on the bank.
Yeah. You'll get to a point where you can afford multiple pairs of barrels gloves. They're only like 200K or something like that. If you're only able to afford one when you get the quest done, that's pretty on par. But when you get to a point where you have money laying around, you can start taking barrels gloves into the wilderness too. Because you can get them back whenever. So, which is also a great part about this reward as an untradeable upgrade, by the way. The fire cape, if you lose it, takes at like, I don't know, half an hour maybe to get back. You have to put work in for it. You lose a dragon defense. Why are you giving me that look? Like
what are these speedrunners? I mean, with a bofa and just chilling, it takes me like 45 minutes. What is this sweaty tactic? 30-minute fire cape? Damn.
Do you know what the GM time for the fight caves is, Michael?
It's like 25 minutes, 28.
It's 26. I'm pretty sure it's 26 minute time.
And you're saying, oh, is it just an easy GM time plus 4 minutes to get my fire cape back?
Okay, fine. You lose your fire cape and you're Michael. It's a 2-hour commitment to go get another one.
Exactly, because you have to contemplate what you did. You have to sit there and stare at your screen and contemplate what you did to lose your fire cape, and then question why you're playing the game. And that's at least an hour and a half. And then you get the gusto to get into the cave.
Another 2 hours right there.
You get Jad hands. So then you die, and then you have to do it all again. Because they don't give you a fire cape if you do the Jalrek challenge, unfortunately. Or is it Jalrek? I don't know. The 6 Jad challenge?
This is why they don't call me the skiller of the show.
You are the skiller.
I am.
The entire time you were doing DriftNet, I was killing Zulrah. How the turntables.
For now.
For now.
How the turntables for now. I think it's going to make quite an impressive... I kind of wish I was doing a YouTube series, but I started a long time ago. Like, I kind of wish I had a long-running series. Because when you inevitably get the blowpipe, I saw you talking mad shit in the Xpwaste chat of like, that's the plan. He'll have to stop maxing to get 99 fire making. When you see me get 99 fire making in 4 fucking days at Wintertod, you're going to be like, Oxie? And I'm going to go right back to it.
You're doing maple logs.
I'm doing maple logs when I have them in my inventory, so I have to do less Wintertod. If you're going to try to cuck me out of my fucking max cape when I have a time limit because you finally, after 7 fucking years, learned how to kill Zulrah, you're going to see a man who fucking hates Wintertod do nothing but Wintertod.
I'm not looking at you.
So go. No, open your eyes. Keep killing the snake.
I'm not looking.
Keep killing the fucking snake. You're going to find out just how quickly 99 fire making can be
obtained. Dude. Listen.
No, keep
listen
going.
With your ears. I want to talk to you real quick. Can I talk to you?
No. What's the next quest?
My desire to get a blowpipe is not to like throw a wrench in your max and grind, okay?
Go ahead.
My desire to get a blowpipe is so I can solo Toa and get a fang. Okay? If you want to call off the bet, we'll call off the bet. And you just hand over those maple logs to me and we'll call it even because I need fletching levels more than you need fire making levels.
Do you think I have any maples in my bank? Number 1.
Yeah, you've been alking to go to
That's
Kingdom
crazy
apparently.
Because I didn't have a fucking thing.
You told me you did.
No! In what world would I have logs in my bank? I wanted to get maple logs, but my fucking Kingdom is terrible because Kingdom is a dog shit mechanic. I'm telling you, I don't give a fuck what your reason to want to blow pipe is. We're not calling off the bet because your group mate isn't a bitch. If you get a blowpipe before I get 99 fire making, you will see an absolutely disgusting performance at Winter.
I'm excited.
No,
I'll go with you. I'll go with you.
You really fucking shouldn't be. You really
I do.
Be.
I'm excited.
You absolutely should not be. You really shouldn't.
I'll be there with you because I'm only 79 fire making. No? Okay. Next quest is another banger. I thought this is the one you were going to talk about when you said the longest quest because gosh dang, there's a lot of dialogue in A Kingdom Divided. Have you guys done this quest? I don't know.
Holy shit, that quest is... They talk so much in AKD.
So much. I did this quest recently. I was killing Zulra, and I was telling myself, I'm like, why do I not have thralls? I am, let me see, 80 days into this account. This wasn't 80 days ago, but this was probably, I was like 15 Zulra KC at this point. I track time in Zulra KC now. So, that's my life. I was looking at my quest list. I'm like, why have I not done AKD yet? And I knocked it out in like an hour and a half. An hour and a half of space barring the quest.
So much talking, dude.
So much. So what do you get from a Kingdom Divided? Well, you get a lot of quests done leading up to it. Basically, you have to run around all of Kourend and do all of the sub quests, which I don't have the list now, but there's basically one for every single house. It's not going to take you that long to get all the sub quests done. I think they took out the favor mechanics from that as well. So like you don't have to spend time getting favor to then do the quest to then do a Kingdom Divided.
RIP the favor system, man. RIP the favor system.
Yeah.
I voted for it to leave, but like still RIP,
Yeah, get out of here. But like bye. But I miss you. It's like a toxic ex. You really love them, but you're like, I can't live with you anymore. Anyway, I will say it's one of the best quest lines in the game, in my opinion. I really like the Kourend quest line just for the story. So if you have about a week, you can do all the quests and read all the dialogue, and I would highly recommend it. I did a Kingdom Divided the week that it came out, like not on the day of, but I think it was like came out on a Wednesday, and I ended up doing it like on that Friday night.
Was it?
And it took me like 5 hours.
Did we not do it the day of? Because we did it together. Did we not do it the day of?
We didn't do it together. Funny enough, I did with Darkside and Ralph, I think, in VC one night. So, but it was very fun to do it without a guide. It was one of those quests where it's very, very doable without a guide. So if you want to challenge yourself and look for a quest that you can do, just, raw dogging it, I highly recommend doing a Kingdom Divided that way. But it's going to take you a while. It's like, it takes just as long. It takes just as long to do a Kingdom Divided without a quest guide and reading all the dialogue as it did to do Desert Treasure 2 with a quest guide. Just Desert Treasure 2 is just a long.
I was going to say, Desert Treasure 2 took me like 10 hours in total the day came
without
out.
a guide. Yeah.
I did that bitch guideless, and that shit was horrible.
Oh,
it was a really good time, but man, holy fuck.
We'll get into Desert Treasure. But the biggest thing that you get from a Kingdom Divided is the access to thralls, which for me have been a massive uptick in the DPS pretty much everywhere. I mean, if you don't need to have a specific spell that you're casting, so say you have a powered staff that shoots its own spells, switch to thralls. Just take them, and don't forget your Book of the Dead either, because then you can't use thralls. But like in Tombs of Amasket, if you're doing chambers, I know that some people take thralls in theater, but I'm not as well versed. There's certain roles where you need to have ancients, so like can't take thralls. But like chambers is a good place to have thralls. I take them a lot in when I go and do tombs because you don't need any specific spells there. Freezes are nice for some rooms, but thralls just that extra DPS. Unmatched. So if you haven't done a Kingdom Divided and you are putting it off, don't put it off because thralls are amazing. I love thralls. What is the magic level required for thralls?
70.
Kind of just take that for
77,
granted.
78.
Oh hell yeah, that's not bad. Anybody can have that. Even like just
I know because I
Slayer.
have it on my JM. It's 76.
Fun fact, when you're playing a maxed main, you don't realize thralls cost prayer points to cast. Until I casted my first thrall.
Is that just because you don't use thralls enough on your max main?
No, I use them all the time. But I just didn't notice the prayer drain.
For sure.
I didn't notice the prayer drain. Like the first time I noticed it, I was like, whoa. Why is my prayer so drained? I haven't really, I just started this fight. I thought I was full. Then I realized I've been casting thralls. So take that into account. If you're going to do content, make sure you have not like extra prayer potions, but just know that it's going to cost you prayer points every time you cast it. I think for me, it was like seven prayer points, which is, it's not a lot. I cast like 3 thralls when I'm doing my 1 Zulrah kill. So just keep that in mind.
What else do you get from AKT? Anything?
It's a great question. I only had thralls written down.
I knew you would only have thralls written down. You get the rest of the Arceus spellbook.
Oh, wow. 24 new spells made available in the Arceus spellbook. So it's not just thralls that you get. Thralls are the most notable for me right now. So
no, dude. Tiki DM'd me in game and said Varlamore access, and I'm thinking about kicking him out of the Discord.
Ooh. I love that he DM'd you in the game when he's in the recording booth right now. That's hilarious. No, it is not. It's not access to Varlamore. As much as we bitched and moaned, I say we. As much as Oxie bitched and moaned about that, it is not a prereq for getting into Varlamore. I did the quest recently, like I said, right? And I was really looking, because I was reading the end dialogue, and I was really looking, trying to see how significant the Varlamore like party is. And they're in the cutscene for all of like it maybe 25 seconds. So very much justified that it's not a prerequisite to get into Varlamore. Like they did good with Children of the Sun. So just keep that in mind next time you do a Kingdom Divided. What is the next quest on our list that you have pulled up?
You know, there's 2 directions I could go here. I could say speaking of Varlamore, or I could say speaking of spellbooks. And I think I'm going to say speaking of spellbooks. Speaking of spellbooks, Lunar Diplomacy is a quest of just puzzles. It's just puzzles. That's the whole thing, I feel like. Lunar Diplomacy is not a particularly difficult quest. Kind of long, because, again, it's comprised almost entirely of puzzles when you're in the dream realm. And a lot of what I often forget about Lunar Diplomacy is all the rigmarole you have to go through with the pirates to get to Lunar Isle. Like, I think Lunar Diplomacy, and I think, oh yeah, the dream realm where you have to like do the dice and cut the wood and jump over the sticks and all that. But there's this whole like, you have to find a way to navigate to Lunar Isle and like do a bunch of wacky shit with like a lantern and a spirit and all this kinds of stuff. And I just forget entirely. And I've done it on at least 1 League's account and both my main and my iron. Having access to a new spellbook is good.
Yeah.
It's so simple and so stupid to word it like that. But the more things you can access in this game, the more content you're able to do, the more money you're able to make, the more XP you're able to earn, the quicker you can max, the quicker you can do PVM. Lunars is utilized, I would say, in at least a dozen boss encounters, right? Michael is what we like to call new money, right? When we talk about PVM, you know, he's like that post-TOA money where he's really big into thralls at Zulrah. I'm old school, okay? I'm a venge man when I do Zulrah myself. I love a good vengeance, right? Also utilize.
It's just a higher ceiling for Venge though, like 94 magic. That's
old school vengeance man myself.
I'm not even.
What you know about that
magic.
about that snazzy red skull? Zulrah hits me, I'm gonna hit it right back. Anyways,
she does hit.
That do be true. Lunars. What are we talking about? Lunar spellbook. You can take this to all 3 raids as well. Venge and Potshare aren't super useful at TOA, but between Humidify and Vengeance at Chambers, Vengeance and Potshare at Tob, and then Venge Potshare at like any of the God Wars dungeon bosses, right? Venge Potshare goes kind of hard, especially if you're tanking. It's good there. There are other like more niche applications, like there's Cure Me if you're trying to do Zulrah, Mr.
I was just gonna say, once I get to 94 magic,
old school.
No. Once I get 94 magic, I think the play will be Venge and use Cure Me, so I don't have to take the Gothic Rest, and then I'll Venge it. Try that out. Could work.
Good. It's good content. Venge at Zulrah is a lot of fun. IMO. But you take Lunars to, like I said, variety of different PVM content. There's a bunch of teleports that you can then put in your player own house once you get the Lunar Spellbook available to you. There's other things like Plant Cure you can use. I'm not a big Plant Cure guy myself. I'm also not a big AFK at the bank magician, which kind of leads to quest 3.5, which is Dream Mentor.
Yeah.
Because that unlocks, I think, like 6 to 8 more spells. Other than Vengeance and Potshare, Dream Mentor unlocks all the useful ones. So all the spells, you look at the Lunar Spellbook and you're like, oh, I kind of would really want to use that. I would want to use Plank Make. I would want to use... Does it unlock Bake Pie? Let me pull it up here on the wiki. I've got it here. It unlocks Monster Examine, Humidify, Hunter Kit, Stats by Dream, Plank Make, and Spellbook Swap from Dream Mentor. So turns out Humidify in Chambers is not super helpful because you also need Dream Mentor for that too. So Lunars is good for that. NPC Contact as well on the Lunar Spellbook lets you talk to other NPCs, which you can use not so much in PVM. You really use it mostly for skilling. The two applications that I usually see NPC Contact used for are Turiel boosting / Turiel skipping when you just want to get to your next Slayer assignment, and for remaking and recharging your pouches when you're doing rune crafting. So when your pouches degrade, you can talk to the guy in the abyss, assuming you've already talked to him once, and you can redo your pouches, remake them. They degrade.
Repair them.
You undegrade, repair. Yeah, that's the term.
Yeah.
Undegrade.
Moment of silence for Oxie calling Slayer skilling. He said, there's not very many PVM uses. One of them is Slayer skilling. Oxie, tell me what PVM stands for. Player versus what?
I don't understand.
Player versus monsters.
I don't understand.
Right? And then,
how many times do we have to have this conversation? How many times do we have to have this conversation? When
at least
you
one
think
more.
PVM, do you think of killing chickens and minotaurs?
Yeah. You're killing monsters.
There's your answer right there.
Monstering.
There's your answer right there, folks. If anyone ever accuses me of being the skiller of the show, you're skilling. When you're Turiel boosting, when you're Turiel skipping, you are engaging
doing
with
it
the
to
skill.
do. You want a PVM, right? Like Inferno, Hydra, that's PVM. You're not Turiel skipping to kill chickens.
But Turiel skipping isn't PVM.
Could be.
That's like saying I need to go on a farm run to make more brews to kill next. Is the farm run to get more brews to kill next also considered PVM?
No, because you're not player versus.
Well, because
I need to go. Herbs are not monsters, right?
You have to engage with it, and it's how you get to the boss. So you're doing it to PVM.
Slayer's not skilling.
Go do
it
your
is
PVM,
a skill,
folks.
yes.
Go to your PVM, folks. Pick your torstals. That's how you. Or what do you make? Toad flax? I don't know how to make brews. I'm not an Iron Man. I wouldn't know.
Tiki wants to know if my level 3 skiller is going to get 99 Slayer. Maybe.
I think it should. You want to know why? Because Slayer's not a combat skill. Slayer's a support skill. It's not a combat skill.
If there's a new method that doesn't require 600 to 800 hours of lamping, I will get 99 Slayer. Anyway, skilling aside, you use... is there anything else? Let me look at this NPC contact and see who else you can talk to.
Like the Lunar Spellbook has a huge range of applications. Just like the Arceus Spellbook has a huge range of applications. The Ancient Spellbook has combat spells. But the other ones that you unlock have a lot of good applications for they have combat and they have utility spells in them, pretty well spread out across the board. Get the spellbook unlocked. It doesn't, the quest is long, but not arduously long. You could probably get it done between this point in the episode and the end of the episode, if I'm being entirely honest with you. From here on out, I'm going to gauge their length in whether or not you can get them done by the amount of time left in this episode. RFD, probably not, unless you've fully set it up in advance. You'll be doing a Kingdom Divided into next week. A Kingdom Divided is the Hydra task of quests. That shit takes forever, even when you know exactly what they're saying. But
I've been reading the different NPCs that you can contact. Besides the Slayer Masters and the Dark Mage, you can talk to Honest Jimmy, who controls the Trouble Brewing minigame, and he can tell you when the next game is likely to start.
you know who you can contact? You can contact Amy from Mahogany Homes.
Look, gonna get there.
Another skilling application.
Gonna get there. You can talk to Bert, the Sandman, and he can deliver your buckets for you if you use NPC contact. So as long as you've done Hand in the Sand, you don't actually have to go to Yanil to get your buckets. You can just NPC contact him. Apparently, you can talk to Advisor Grimm,
in my bank.
and you can collect the resources, but you can't deposit money from your throne of Miscellanea, from your kingdom. You can just anywhere in the world. You don't have to go to Miscellanea. You can just NPC contact, collect it right there and then. Some of these other ones are silly, like you can talk to Lanthus and ask when the next Castle Wars game is going to start. You can talk to Murphy and ask when the next fishing trawler game is going to start. Lots of dead content on the NPC contact, but I think the content that is useful, it's like it carries NPC contact really hard. Carries hard. Anything else from your lunar quests? Anything else from the spellbook you want to talk about?
No, like I said, broad range of applications. Get it done.
Sick. My next one is going to be, I'm going to be talking to the Iron Men out there, the early game Iron Men, and that is Path of Gluffrey. Now, what this quest does is it gives you access to probably the most useful mid-game upgrade that you could ever make on your account, and that is the Warped Scepter. I tell you what, the Warped Scepter changed the game for Iron Men. As someone who pretty much got into group Iron Man and like mid-game Iron Man around the time that this quest came out, before this, you had Ibans. That was it until you got a Trident. And Ibans is like god awful expensive because you need death runes. So the meta before was you would raise kittens and then you would go to barrows. And then you would just barely upkeep all of the death runes you were using from Ibans whenever you were, doing barrows. But now with the Warp Scepter, you massively profit chaos runes. Like you do like three barrel chests and your Warp Scepter is full. So definitely look into that if you haven't already. It's been in the game for a while. So if you're starting an Iron Man or you're starting a new account, look into the Warp Scepter, but you need Path of Gluffrey to get it if you're an Iron Man. It's a very easy quest, so it'll take you probably 20 minutes. Now, getting the Warp Scepter could be days because it's like a 1 in 300, I think, but poor Oxie.
Took me 900 KC.
Even 3 times the drop rate.
Took me 900 KC day of release to get that dumbass scepter. So bad.
I think TMD had gotten 2 before you got 1.
He did. He actually did get 2 before I got 1.
Yeah.
And he's like, take 1. And I said, I'm not doing that.
I don't think I will. I guess I can go into that. This was 2 in 1. So with the, another kind of mid-game upgrade, Defender of Varrock gets you access to the Zombie Axe. This is a more recent upgrade. And when I was reading on the wiki about the Zombie Axe, it said it can essentially deal more average damage than an Abyssal Whip with players with who are weak to crush. So if you're struggling on your account and you don't want to do Slayer, and say you're an Iron Man, or maybe you can't afford a whip, look into the zombie axe. I mean, they are more expensive than a whip now that I say that, but it has a lower barrier of entry because you could get your own essentially if you just do Defender of Varrock, and then you go and you kill the what are they? The armored zombies, I think. Very easy to get. If you're on a new account and say you can't afford a whip, you could go get a zombie axe for yourself and sell it, and then you can afford a whip. But if you're going to kill things that are weak to crush, grab the zombie axe. I think it's one of those sleeper items that it hasn't been in the game long enough for people to really like. It's not in any like established metas. Like if you look on the wiki, generally they have like the best in slot items that you can bring. It's not going to be best in slot anywhere, but it's going to be very decent at a lot of places where stuff is weak to crush. So that was my second one. Kind of 2 for 1. I don't think we actually, like in our top 10, I don't think we separated those. So mid-game Iron Man, Warp Scepter, and broken. Well, it's broken when you get it, but like the regular zombie axe. Decent upgrades. You got another one for us?
I do. And this benefits more than just Iron Man, thankfully. Speaking of Varlamore, Perilous Moons is the name of the actual quest itself. Moons of Peril is the name of the activity, and Xpwaste is the name of the dungeon. And then you have the different Eclipse, Blood, and Blue Moons that have their lots of moons. Lots of moons, no ass, and lots of potential for drops. I want to say Perilous Moons is like or Moons of Peril, whatever it is. It's a 1 in 19-ish. So let's see here. Looking on the math. Yeah. If the player defeats all 3 Moons of Peril, the overall chance to receive at least 1 unique item is roughly 1 out of 19 for the item. Why is that relevant? Because doing Perilous Moons gives access to Moons of Peril, gives access to Xpwaste, and never-ending fucking casino-ass dungeon where you could just keep going. You just keep going and going and going and going. And it offers 3 different armor sets. I know I don't see too many people use the Eclipse Moon stuff, but I know the Blood Rager set has like the Blood Moon stuff, the Blood Moon, Blood Rager, whatever. That's like comparable to Obsidian, I feel like. Maybe a little bit better.
Bandos.
It's equivalent to Bandos.
Yep.
Yeah, would you look at that? Identical strength bonus to Bandos Tacits, having 36 more magic defense. Cheaper and easier to obtain. There is that. Blue Moon, I believe, is the mage set, and then Eclipse is the like. I want to say Eclipse is range. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone use this. And I'm not fully up to snuff on what exactly the sets themselves do. But I'm not going to go into huge amounts of detail for it, strictly because we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about quests. Perilous Moons is fun. It's one of the quests on this list that like isn't super high stakes, doesn't take super long, and does a very, very, very good job of teaching you how to do the content that you're unlocking.
Mm-hmm.
And
shout out to Mod Rice.
Shout out to Mod Rice. I really do enjoy Perilous Moons. I enjoy the quest. I enjoy the activity. I've not been like really grabbed by it yet. I think it's because I don't give a shit about the rewards on my main. Like when I start clogging, I think I'm going to care a lot more. But like, I don't know, man. I think I have, how many uniques do I have from Perilous Moons? Moons of Peril. Let's see.
I'm going to look also.
I have 2. I have 2 uniques and 33 chests. So a little spoonage from that. But the quest is super chill. The activity is very straightforward. Absolutely, you guys can smash this one out by the time this episode ends. And it unlocks a pretty good moneymaker, like right in line with Barrows. I think if I had to guess, they're about the same money per hour-ish. I'm just pulling this out of my ass. I don't have any calculations in front of me.
There are no drops that are under a mil.
But there are also no good drops on the table. Like Barrows, you get death runes and blood runes.
Yeah, you get runes, sure.
Like you
I
make
guess I didn't
a
consider
little
that.
bit of passive money doing Barrows, right?
True.
but only some of the items are big ticket items. Whereas Perilous Moons, if you don't get an item every chest, you are losing money. Maybe it's just me losing money because I take a scythe, but
you take a bro.
What do you mean, bro? Of course I take a
Moons
scythe.
of Peril with Barrow's gear. So like,
yeah, I've done Moons of Peril on the Iron. I know what I can do. I can do any content with
money
with whatever.
Almost everywhere with a scythe, besides raids. So if you get a drop, it is going to be more expensive than if you got a drop at Barrows, almost always, because like there's like 3 or 4 good items at Barrows. Almost all of these items are good and they're going to make you money.
Blood Moon Tassets are 7 mil. Was not expecting that.
They're
Blood
like
Moon
cheap
Tassets are 7
Bandos
mil.
Tassets.
Yeah.
Swole in the recording booth piped up and said, but it costs 1.5 to upkeep, 1.5 mil to upkeep. It's after 50 hours of use. So hopefully, if you're using the Blood Moon armor or any of the armor really, after 50 hours, you could make 1.5 mil. Hopefully.
$5. $5.
Oh my gosh. Surely you have 1.5 mil. If you don't, bonds are not that expensive.
Good God. But yeah, the other drop table, the most expensive non-unique drop is 45 water orbs at just under 40k. Stinky. Pretty stinky.
As an Iron Man though, like the non-unique items are pretty decent. Water orbs, mint for anybody with like wanting to do crafting but don't want to spend money doing it. If you're a mid-game account, even if you're not an Iron Man, it's pretty decent, I would say. Like you're not crying at the non-unique rewards because you just get free XP. Like, because you can make those into battle stabs and then you sell the battle stabs for a lot more than you.
What do you think is the more expensive part of the battle staff making, Michael?
It's the battle staff, obviously, but like you profit from buying a battle staff and putting a water orb on top of it.
That's
and
true.
It's free crafting XP. And it's magic XP because you can alch them while you're doing agility. Man, I'm just like, you guys are macro efficient after listening to this episode.
Find some help. Find some help. Go find a therapist.
We don't shame people for skilling on this show, Oxie.
I do.
Stop it
myself.
You need some help.
I don't need help. I need 88k fishing XP plus 98 to 99 fishing XP. That's what I need in this house.
So 1.3 mil.
Just about. Ooh. What do we got next, Michael?
Well, the next on my list is one that I don't feel entirely qualified to talk about, but I'm going to. Desert Treasure 2, the most recent Grandmaster quest, depending on the time of this, depending on the time when you're listening to this episode. It's a big one. And I only put it on this list here because one, it'll push you to do hard things in this game, which I still need to do it. And two, it has some pretty decent rewards at the end. 2 notable ones that I had written down. This is a sleeper, by the way. You get 300k in any combat skill, including prayer. 300,000 prayer XP for doing a quest. It's bonkers. It's bonkers. You could put it into something else. You could put it into range if you wanted to, or magic, or any of them.
It's like 60 to 70. It's like 60 to 70 prayer.
Just
like straight through, I'm pretty sure.
Please.
It's pretty good for prayer.
Bonkers. And then you get the Ring of Shadows, which is a ring. It's basically an upgrade to the Ring of Invisibility. And fun fact on the ring, not only will you be able to teleport to the different like post quest bosses once you get their respective drop that you add to the ring, but the ring itself is basically a free unimbued Berserker ring because it offers a little bit of a strength bonus, +2, and then it offers offensive or defensive. Yeah, no, offensive +4, which is the same as the unimbued Berserker Ring. So if you're going to be doing wilderness content, really good there. Basically, a free Berserker Ring to take into the wilderness with a little bit of a crush. I mean, a little bit of a strength bonus, and you get it back for free. So you don't have to like +1 any sort of expensive rings.
It's $75K to get it back.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and you
Can't you
lose
just
the
talk
charges
to
if
the-
you die with it. You talk to the
Can't just talk
mysterious
to the
bandit
guy
in the vault.
wilderness. And talk to the guy. I mean, if you're getting it from Purdue, yes.
No, if lost, another can be obtained from the mysterious bandit in the ancient vault for 75,000 coins. Multiple rings can be purchased from the bandit. So back when this quest first came out, you couldn't get multiple rings, and we had to do like a duplication glitch. So one of my Rings of Shadows is actually the old duplicated one, because I duplicated it while doing Whisperer and Vard. And then the next week they were like, yeah, we're just going to let you have more than one. So, but yeah, you do get more. I don't think it's as good as a Berserker Ring. Unimbued.
It is.
Is a Berserker Ring not +4 unimbued?
It is. So this has +4 attack bonuses in stab.
But it's only half
/
the strength
crush.
bonus.
It's half the strength bonus, yeah. It's almost as good as an unimbued Berserker Ring for basically for free. So if you're going, like, I think my point still stands. Like, if you're going into the wilderness and you're doing content and you don't want to risk a whole lot, it offers a little bit of a strength bonus. I mean, it's better than like wearing, most people just wear like the Explorer's Ring to have some sort of prayer bonus. This offers a +2 prayer bonus. What does the Explorer's Ring give you?
1 or 2, I think. With the Elite Diary one, maybe 2. I think it's just +1.
It's +1. It's +1. So this is even better than wearing the Explorer's Ring in most cases where you would want some sort of prayer bonus.
Might I offer an alternate suggestion to those going into the wild? Suffering Imbued. Suffering Imbued is a play. Gives you hella prayer bonus, and the defensive bonuses in the wilderness are not to be slept on. Especially when you're trying to get away from PKers. Recoil ain't going to do too much for you, but if you bring it as an item that you keep on death, the defensive bonuses, specifically when going up against like freezes or binds, does make a little bit of a difference. And it keeps the prayer around for longer. So I'm a suffering man in the wilderness myself. But
you're suffering in the wilderness?
I guess if you want to take Ring of Shadows, you can. If you die with it, you'll lose all the charges you put in it, I'm pretty sure.
What are the charges? What does it charge with?
Blood, soul, death, and law.
Oh, wow. Oh, I thought this was okay. Damn. So I guess maybe don't bring it in fully, if it's fully charged.
Listen, I'm not very good at them myself. I'm actually kind of dog shit at all 4 of them. But you also get access to the 4 bosses. Whisper, Leviathan, Duke, and Vard.
Yes.
You get access to the 4 bosses. I've been told they're all right money if you get a vestige. If you don't get a vestige, I've been told it's like bronze javelins and shit. So like, I don't entirely know the validity of how much money you make there. I think it's a boss that you, like all 4 of them, you have to stay fairly consistent with. But the more consistent you are, the more likely you are to actually get a pretty decent payout. And they'll push you. They're tough. They are, I would say unquestionably Desert Treasure 2 is the hardest quest in the game. Strictly like skill requirements, no. Like I still think Song of the Elves takes it for the most like arduous skill grinds to get to do the quest. Without question, Desert Treasure 2 is the hardest quest in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I would think.
Right now, at the time of recording, it is the hardest quest in the game, yes.
I don't think While Guthic Sleeps is going to be harder. I really don't.
I mean,
from what they talked about on the modcast, I don't think it's going to be more difficult.
I'm talking to the people listening to this in 10 years, whenever, Monkey Madness 7 is out and we're fighting 16 mech-sized demonic gorillas with our dual-wield scythes
Swole
in our
said
Tebow
Desert
auto
Treasure
cannon.
2 took me 5 weeks to kill Whisper.
Damn.
Dog.
But he did it. He did it on an account that has a lower combat level than me, and that is very encouraging. Leviathan is no joke, though. Oh my gosh. All of them are no joke. Now, the quest versions are slightly easier, which I am looking forward to.
Are they?
But oh my gosh. I mean, all quest versions of bosses are easier than the post-quest versions. That's just how RuneScape works, man. Oxie hasn't killed them post-quest, so he doesn't know that we can forgive him for that.
That is true. Yeah, I've never actually killed them post-quest. Okay, they're marginally easier. Leviathan goes from like 900 to 720 health. So yeah, a little bit. I haven't done it in so goddamn long.
Yeah, this quest came out, let me see, Desert Treasure 2 Fallen Empire. It was released July 26th of 2023.
Good times.
Not even a year yet, but it's been a while. Oh man, lead developer Mod Ed, of course he did. Mod Ed has some of the best quests in the game. Hard carries. He hard carries the quest log. Anyway, yes, go do Desert Treasure 2. You will not regret it. Maybe you'll regret like who you are while you're doing it, but afterwards when you finally, oh my gosh, it had some of the most like goosebump moments that I've ever had in a RuneScape quest. Just like doing this, I was doing it in VC. I was doing the end. I won't spoil anything, but there were parts where like I would just deafen and mute myself, and I was just like reading the dialogue. Certain things would pop up, and I would unmute and undeafen. I go, "Oh my gosh!" And then I would just deafen and mute again, and it was
yeah.
a good quest.
It's good times. Good times.
Loved it.
The random events are super helpful too. Like, oh, chef's kiss. But anyways, on to the next one, which like I almost don't even want to say it because it's stinky and it makes me mad. But also, it's really hard to ignore the unlock that it gives because the quest itself is not that hard objectively. It's hard for me, apparently. I have a very hard time with the boss fight on every account I've ever tried it on. I don't know why. I have a miserable time with this boss fight. Easier than Vanstrom, easier than Vorkath, easier than Galvek. Like it for me personally, it's been like an infernal level difficulty, and that's beneath Cursed Sands. It's real tough for me to bring this one up, but it's also real hard to ignore. It's hard. It's real. You get a fucking raid as a reward. Like, how do you pass that up as like best quest rewards in 2024? Here's a whole ass raid, right? Like when we did that last episode, we released it on April 29th. When we recorded that episode, it would have been probably April 25th. This quest came out April 27th. So Michael and I hadn't even done this quest because we didn't know that it was like in the game or going to be in the game when we did the episode, or else we probably would have waited. But as a reward for this quest, you get 50,000 agility. Oh, you get 50,000 agility XP for this quest?
Yeah, but what level do you need to be? Like, is it a drop in the bucket?
62. So like not bad.
Yeah.
The requirements to do this quest really aren't too bad. It's 62 agility, 55 fire making, 55 crafting, and then a couple of like the contact tree of quest lists, which really isn't, again, not that bad at all. Extra teleport in your Pharaoh Scepter. You get a new fairy ring, AKP, a cool pyramid. You get the big reward, if you ask Michael, is the Circlet of Water. He does call it the Circlet of Water quest after all.
The Circlet of Water? I'm wearing one right now. Funny you should say that.
He says it's the most OP item in the game, if you ask Michael. That's the whole reason why you do the quest.
I only called it the Circle of Water quest because that's the only reason I did it initially on this account, is so I could have the Circle of Water, because I was on the crafting grind for.
I feel like that was a guest episode. We said that on too. I was like, oh god, Michael.
Maybe.
No. He called it
No,
the circlet
Michael.
of water. He called it the circlet of water and run a solo mission. Oh no! Um, but obviously, the big one from this quest, you get access to TOA.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you get access to. I don't know how else to describe it. Right, I'm not going to go into detail about TOA. The term like TOA money, new money, it will make you money doing the raid, and a lot of people have found it is their absolute favorite raid, and that's good. I think it's introduced a lot of people to content in a way that really hadn't been introduced to content before in OSRS, with like the ability to scale difficulty and things like that to your leisure. I think that's good. You know, overall, I think the design is where it's at. I think they kind of fumbled as an elitist end game player. I think they kind of fumbled with the drop rates and where they position some of the items in the game, because for the long term health, I think the Fang is way too cheap for what it can do. So we're gonna inevitably run into a Black Dragonhide blowpipe problem, where the issue isn't that it's too strong, it's that it's too cheap. And what's the point of using a $1.3 billion weapon when you could just get one for some like pocket change? You know,
I mean, that was
like
kind of why they did Project Rebalance in a sense. It was a whole section of Project Rebalance, so they addressed it, which was good. But
Yeah.
as a non-elitist, normal RuneScape player, I agree with Oxie on this one. You don't have to be an elitist to think that the Fang should have been switched with the ward.
100%.
It should have. At the week that they released this raid, they should have swapped the Fang with the ward and called it a day. And then they could have kept the Fang just how it is, and it would have been like a 200 or 300 mil item, and we would have all rejoiced. But it did not pan out like that. Now the Fang is like 25 mil, which I want.
Is
one
it
on my
even
account.
25 mil? It is.
I don't look at the
It's
GE anymore these days.
16 mil?
Oh no.
The Fang is 16 mil?
Oh,
I bought my Fang
guys,
for 250 mil and it's 16 mil?
go buy a Fang, please.
Holy shit.
It's such a jack of all trades weapon. I bought mine for I think it was over 100. Surely. I bought mine for like
TOA
100?
came out on a Wednesday. I bought that bitch on a Friday for 250 mil.
And it was cracked in TOA. It was cracked everywhere.
It is
justifiably.
It's still cracked in TOA. Like they've nerfed it a little bit since release. They've not touched it
bugged.
in TOA. It was broken for a little while. It was broken.
It was giving you advantage on every single accuracy roll.
It was
pretty
absurd.
bugged.
It was pretty gross. It was absurd for a while. But yeah, you get a whole raid as a quest reward for Beneath Cursed Sands. The final boss is not as hard as I'm making it out to be. I just brain no work when I kill the boss, and brain no work like the first couple of times I've killed the boss, and it's not been fun. Hair is out of control. Good God. That's why I keep behind the headset. Anyways, Beneath Cursed Sands, man, I don't think it's that long. Like,
it really isn't. I mean,
you have to go through. Okay, you know what? You know what's kind of a bitch is that the Scarabus puzzle where you have to like run through the lever and shit, and then fight the champion of Scarabus. That one's kind of frustrating.
Yeah,
but I think other than that, and the Menophyte Ock, it's really not that long. It's like a medium length quest. You know, it's pretty chill. And the weapon you get from it, if you don't have a stab weapon, if you don't have a Fang or a Hasta or a Rapier, the Karis Partisan is a decent enough weapon to take to TOA. If you got no other options, the Karis Partisan, which is the item, the upgraded Karis you get as a reward from the quest, you can buy it from Osman, I think. Yeah, it's good. It's good enough in TOA. But
Swell didn't have to do that. He said Michael's Armadillo flip was less loss than your Fang cost you. Yes. Well, I failed miserably at flipping Armadillo crossbows.
The worst part about that was 2 days after Next came out, ACBs shot back up in price. So had you just like taken the L and held onto them, you would have actually made your money.
Yeah.
Oh, what a time.
Yeah. Well, we didn't, and I lost money. But now I feel like I've made that back with flipping. Money means nothing to me. So who knows?
Did you guys know Michael's an Iron Man?
I have fun playing this game. Did you know Oxie doesn't?
Not right now. Not right now. I don't. Let me tell you. Just fish shoal on fish shoal, man.
Fish shoal.
All fishes, no bitches, and 68K
Oh, man.
left to 90. What level am I even gonna get? 98. Good God, I've been underwater for so long. I'm all pruny and shit, man. I gotta get back on dry land.
Speaking of pruny, the next one that I
Hold
have, the
on.
last one that I have for you.
Is it a pruny quest?
No, just a dumb transition. The last quest that I am going to talk about is Temple of the Eye, purely for the fact that this kind of changed the game when it came to early game rune crafting. Because before this, basically, it was Tears of Guthix until you could get to blood runes for. No, I'm just kidding, not blood runes, but like at most you have like what, the Arceus library for early game rune crafting. But now you do Temple of the Eye, and that bumps you straight to like 20 or 23 rune crafting. So if you combine it with the Enter the Abyss minigame and the Temple of the Eye, I think you get like 6,000 total rune crafting XP at the end of the day. And then you only need 10 rune crafting, or 20, you need 27 rune crafting to start doing Guardians of the Rift. So if you do a little bit of rune crafting outside of this, then you have access to the best rune crafting method that your account is going to see for a while, early game. So I basically blinked on my account. I blinked and I'm 65 rune crafting. That's pretty much unheard of for any other account that started before Guardians of the Rift came out. So if you are one of those people who played RuneScape like back in the day, or maybe you played like 2013, 2014, you left and now you're back, rune crafting is actually good. So don't sleep on Guardians of the Rift.
Ourselves.
And don't listen to people like Oxie, who's going to tell you don't get ahead of yourself and go do Guardians of the Rift. It is a very decent mini game. There are some prereqs that I would say you should probably have before you do that. Let me see. It's going to make your life easier if you have some agility, because there is an agility shortcut that gives you access. Like, it gives you access to like a lower level where you can mine the shards a bit faster. Look it up. It's like in the 50s. I think it's like 55 or 56 agility to access the lower level where you mine the shards. And it's just a lot faster. So
rock
it's not
climb
needed.
to Temple of the Eye is 56.
There you go, 56 agility. And if you have an early game account, you should be doing agility early anyway to get graceful, because for most accounts, graceful is going to carry you for a while. We would have had it, like if there was a quest that you needed to do to get graceful, it would have been on this list, because it's pretty meta to, when you're starting out in RuneScape, to have graceful. But,
so Priest in Peril is the required quest.
Ooh, Priest in Peril. There you go.
For
Priest in Peril
for the Canifis
it's
rooftop. 100%,
kind of a sleeper quest when it comes to unlocking an area. Mauritania has a lot to offer when it comes to content. So if you've not done Priest in Peril and you've not set foot into Mauritania, do that. That's like a little bonus one that we didn't count. But Guardians of the Rift is a fun mini game. Depends on, I guess, the world that you're in. It could not be fun, but definitely give it a try. Don't sleep on rune crafting anymore. And use, Punkus said in the recording booth, you need NPC context. So that's a callback to the other quest that we talked about, Lunar Diplomacy. I think we have one more, and I think these last two are XP focused. Mine was kind of XP focused, at least with like early game rune crafting XP.
I mean, I do have an early game quest for XP that I have in mind. I do have an early game quest, but I feel like it's a little too early game for the scope of this episode. It's a good one for any irons out there, or people who just do not have the money to train the skill. Edgar's Ruse gives you 12k Herblore XP, I think.
Damn.
And I think you get from like, you need 30 to do the quest. So you go from 30 to 30, 36, 30 to 36, or 30 to 38, I think. Because 38's prayer potions. So it's a little early game for usually the scope of folks in here. You do get the teleport to Troll Stronghold. Troll, not Troll. He's Swole. Swole talking about Troll Stronghold teleport. Yes, you do get that unlocked from Edgar's Ruse as well. But as far as XP is concerned, if you're like super early game or you just have a really low Herblore level, Edgar's Ruse totally doesn't have any segments of the quest that are going to make you want to jump out a window. I'll promise you that right now. Yeah, it doesn't have anything. It doesn't have anything that makes you super infuriated. It doesn't have anything like that, and you definitely don't need to do it. You don't need to do it 3 more times or 2 more times. You definitely don't need that. That's not part of the quest.
Somebody make a plugin for that damn troll kitchen, and I think everyone can sleep easier at night.
I got all 3 of them because I think you need one for Dream Mentor and you need one for Dragon Slayer too, I think. So when I did Edgar's Ruse way back in the day on the GIM, I think I have an extra gout weed sitting in the bank.
Look at you.
And it's not tradable, so sorry.
I have all the ones I need too, though. So I will.
Sorry, TMD.
It'll be a great day when you do Dragon Slayer 2.
I already have the requirements for it.
We should do it together.
The other quest on the list that I wanted to talk about, we could do it together. It's fine. Because Michael's got to actually do it. Michael will be your first time doing DS2. Yeah.
Ever.
You have to be there for that.
It'd be great.
Well, okay. Don't give me that in like it's snide, whatever. You know what I mean.
I know. No, I'm legitimately saying it'll be great because I've not done it. My friend did it for me.
Yeah, I was going to say the people are going to be confused if you don't follow up now.
No. Yeah. So back whenever I had my account in like 2016, my main account, I wasn't really playing much. And one of my friends was playing on my account and he really likes quests. And I would say like 70% of the quests that were done on that account were done by him. And he just loved quests that much where he's like, can I do these quests for you? I'm like, yeah, dog, it's all you. So I've not ever done Dragon Slayer 2. I'm very excited to do it.
It's going to be a good time. The last quest that I have that isn't an XP reward, but does offer some marginal reward. In my eyes, I think it's an important quest line that we revisit. Like, Ed, I know we're doing Majorat right now, and please, for the love of God, can someone give us some confirmation that Lord of Vampirium is on the way or something, please? I've been waiting on bated breath after the cliffhanger y'all left us with in Sins of the Father for like 4 years. Please, 2025 has got to be the year of the vampire. But 2026 has to be the year of the slug, because Slug Menace is the last quest, which also leaves off on some sort of a dramatic cliffhanger. I've not done it in a while. I think you like defeat the Slug Queen, and she's like, you know, you get introduced to like the big bad, and you get like teleported out. Like you don't even get to fight her at the end. It doesn't take super long to do, but you get Proselyte, which prior to a couple months ago was best in slot prayer armor. It's not best in slot anymore because of Sunfire, but the notable difference between Sunfire and Proselyte, other than a couple of prayer points, is like 40 mil. So it costs like 20k for the set, and you'll only ever be using the top and bottom because you can use Proselyte with your Slayer Helm, which is usually how most people use it. Fun fact about Proselyte, one of the reasons why I wanted to throw this one in there, in addition to loving this quest line and obviously getting a lot of use out of Proselyte, you can use this with magic too when you burst. Like when you burst in the catacombs specifically, you don't need to take robes, you can take Proselyte gear. Because most of the monsters that you're bursting have a low enough magic level where the decreased accuracy that you're getting isn't going to make that much of a difference. So I believe you can also take it if you're doing monkeys too, which I did a while ago. I got 99 magic. I was training my Pure at the time, because I used to have one of those. I was doing quests and training up the old Pure while going for 99 magic and 99 defense on the main way back in the day. But yeah, want or not, I always want to call it Wanted, but it's not. It's the quest after Wanted. It's the Slug Menace. So definitely get that quest done. Doesn't take that long. Only a little bit of combat towards the end, and you get a prayer armor set that you're going to use for, again, the next several years. So I think that does it. I think that wraps up the quests that we wanted to touch on. I don't know.
Beautiful.
I don't think we touched on every single quest with a good reward in this game. I also don't think that was the point of the episode. Like, somebody's going to be in the comments going, "What about Song of the Elves?" Like, obviously, yeah, Song of the Elves gives good quest rewards. Obviously, Dragon Slayer 2 gives good quest rewards. I think we talked about both of those in the last episode.
Yeah.
Not the last episode. The last time we did this episode. So we kind of wanted to more so like 58? Yeah, and this is 153. So damn near 100 episodes have passed since we last did this. So this was meant to be more like a updated, get in the information that we feel we needed to, and maybe give people a kick in the pants to actually get some quests done. Because while Gothic Sleeps comes out in the next couple of months, like, it's probably going to be here by September, and you don't want to be caught without having adequate rewards for another Grandmaster quest that's coming into the game. You know?
Definitely.
Let's get her going, boys.
Get her going. Get your quest capes. And, get your quest cape on a quest meta, a meta quest, while getting blood work done at Quest Diagnostics. The intro makes sense. I couldn't think of anything else that was like quest related. Those are the 3 things in my life that relate to quests. If you guys have any more, drop them in the comments below. Let me know how I can expand that intro for the next time we talk about quests.
In another 100 episodes, Mike is going to go back and redo it with more quest-related stuff.
Absolutely. There's got to be like a car or something that is called the Quest car. You can drive to Quest Diagnostics or something. But guys, that's going to do it for this portion of the episode. Thank you so much for hanging out and listening to us talk. If you want to hear us talk more, definitely stick around for the next part, the community part, and listen to this recycled commercial. And we'll see you after this.
Hey, how's it going? Name's Tony. Some people call me Fat Tony. I don't really know how I feel about that. But welcome to my pizza shop. This is Tony's Pizza Bases, located out here in the wilderness. I don't know how to feel about that, but it's kind of the hand you're dealt, you know? I can hear you asking me right now, Fat Tony, why are you out in the wilderness? Why are you out there? Well, I'm fleeing for my life, you know? I had to flee Misthalin. There's this nasty rumor about me that I poisoned old King Rold. There's no basis for that. So you come into my shop out here in the wilderness, what you gonna get? I got everything you need to make a pizza. Got your cheeses, got your tomatoes. Hey, and if you kill a rat out there, I'm sure you could probably find some meat for your pizza, but if you ain't into that, I don't know what to tell you. If you come out here, come out to the wilderness, I'll make you a pizza you write your mama about it. I know it's gonna be dangerous, right? I know that. But I'll tell you right now, it's worth the risk. Come and see Fat Tony. Come and see for yourself. Your time is valuable, and so is mine. I got some bandits to feed. They're getting kind of hungry. I'm gonna hit you with my tagline and close it out. Here we go. The name's Fat Tony. I'm an expert in pizzas, both the making and the eating. Oh, real quick before I go. If you're ever out in Drano Village, I got a cousin named Fortunato. Tell him Fat Tony said hey.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial break because I know that I sure did. It's part of the show now where we take a second and we call out some people for the cool stuff that they do. They support the show and we want to thank them big time. Here, I
thought you were going into achievement of the I thought you were going into achievement of the week. I'm like, all right, damn, I really ain't got nothing to do in the second half of the episode.
Just like, yeah. Relaxing.
Be getting
No.
max efficiency drift netting. All right.
Hey, send me the list and I'll read it. That's not a threat. It is Patreon thanks time. On the screen now is all of our current Wise Old Man patrons. Thank you so much to all of the Wise Old Man patrons. We don't have any new ones, so there's no one new to thank. They all were thanked last week. But if you are a Wise Old Man patron, your name is on the screen now. And this is the part of the show where we stop and we say thank you. You guys are amazing. What you do for the show is immense. And there's so many of you that we can't read your names individually anymore. They're just chilling on the screen. So if you want your names to be read out loud, some of you have to leave. But that would be terrible. So don't do that. It's kind of how it works. You know, capitalism, if there's too many people doing a good thing, it just becomes less good for a lot of people. So thank you. Thank you to Wise Old Man patrons.
Is that okay? Never. You know what? We're just gonna keep going.
I don't know. Let's just keep rolling.
It's 11 o'clock at night. I'm just gonna let it go.
Yeah. It is now time to thank our KBD patrons. No matter how many of these folks we have, we will name them all every episode. So all of these people are getting their names shouted out. If you're in the KBD tier, thank you so much. And I will now thank you by name, starting with Apathy, Boston Sport, Brokes 70, Chaos Cleric. Just Chaos Cleric. Nothing fancy.
That's
there.
probably the most surprising name I wouldn't have expected.
I know, right?
Just his actual name.
Just Chaos Cleric. Oxie's dad, my dad, all of our dad. Hi, Dad. Cloud Kicker, Corpse Fiance, Damon S, Dickie Bird, Elite Oreo Dunker, MT Birchfield, Oxie's number one favorite demon, 666. Our third favorite Patreon supporter, Ralph, Run Metal 15, Soggy Waffles, Seppi J, Sparky Life, Swole Goth Girls with Versic Eyes, the Big G Jordy, and the Crayola Tallymorn. Thank you, everyone. If you are in the KBD tier, muchos to all of you. You guys are the bread and butter, the peanut butter to our jelly, the shoes to our socks, if you will. So if you want to join these crazy folks and support the show at any tier, really, but if you want your name shouted out, head on over to the KBD tier. But any tier, we have ones as cheap as $1 all the way to $25. You can do so at patreon.com/Xpwaste. If you're in the Party Pete tier, which is our mid tier, you get access to an extra episode. That's where the extra episode tier starts. We'll do a Patreon only stream with just Oxie and I once a month. And those are all available to you on YouTube. You can go and view the backlog. And if you're wondering where, like, if you're not part of the Discord and they're not on Patreon, just DM me and I'll send you links to where to find them. But I'm pretty sure at this point in time, I have them all uploaded to Patreon. So check those out. They're a good couple extra hours of content per month. And it's just, me and Oxie chilling, playing games. Now, if you go way back in the backlog, there's actual episodes that we put effort into and we edited and I'm not saying
we didn't do much
effort.
editing. We didn't do much editing.
It was very little editing.
I'm pretty sure we just sort of slapped it because the whole shtick with extra episodes is we don't want to edit more than we have to, so we're just gonna put the uncut audio feeds in the thing.
Yep. So if you want to check out the backlog, some of them are audio only. There are more video podcasts than not. So check that out on Patreon. That's going to do it for this portion of the show. Thank you so much to all of our patrons. Moving on now to the community question. Now, the episode was released yesterday at the time of recording. So it's going to be kind of light. We're not working with as many responses as we probably should. So if you're like, man, I answered the community question and they didn't read my entry. Well, it's because it's been 24 hours basically since the episode was released. More like 36 hours since the episode got released, and there's not that many responses. So we'll go ahead and start from the top. What was your favorite of the 3 new Dragonbane weapons? D4 Drake says, looking forward to trying out the staff. It sounds like a potential to melt and throws in a lot of mechanics to a fight with Mark of Darkness, summoning thralls, auto casting, and death charging. I wonder if this will have any use for like, no, it's probably not going to buff thralls, but like if you're already using thralls and hey, you happen to be fighting a demon, you might as well hit it with mage. Real Crazy says, the Firelight not needing charges will be a huge upgrade for me. I always felt wrong using the Arc Light, as it only felt right to use it on demon bosses and not all demon creatures. I feel the same way, except for like, I have 36 shards in the bank right now. And I use it pretty freely. So just spend some time in the catacombs. Dynamite says the Firelight, hands down, has to be my favorite. Also, props to whoever suggested it be a light source during the live stream Q&A.
Yep.
Is that real? That's
yeah,
hilarious.
people actually did suggest it.
That's good. That's good stuff. HP Healer says, of the three, the bow seems pretty cool. Burn damage while the opponent is binded seems dope, but really looking forward to the claws since the dragon claws are out of reach. Yeah, of the three, I always forget that. I mean, like, there's 3 Demon Bane weapons, obviously, but the claws, as much as I was like, shitting on them, it probably is going to be a decent intermediary spec weapon if you can't afford claws. Fizzman15 says, Firelight, keen to shred through Sire and eventually Serb, and hopefully not going to go dry on ancient shards. One can hope you do not either. Air quotes says, make the melee Demon Bane weapon specific to Hellhounds and call it Barklight. I love that.
It's a good one. All right, we'll take Barklight. I'm fine with
Hell
Barklight.
yeah. Let's go with Barklight. We're only going to take it to Hellhounds, though. So, and finally on Spotify, Ben says, real excited to use the Firelight, and hopefully any bosses during While Gothic Sleeps will be weak to Demon Bane. I mean, that's the kicker, right? Like, as soon as you get any of these tormented demon spines or whatever they're calling the synapse, as soon as you get one, throw it on a weapon or make a weapon, and then now it's easier to kill the tormented demons. Which, if they're anything like demonic gorillas, they'll have multi-styles. So we may see the need for more than one. Who knows? Like I said, that's going to do it for our Spotify replies. We actually have more than one on YouTube.
Wow.
We asked you the same question. What's your favorite of the 3 Demon Bane weapons? And JT says, Firelight sounds cool. I just hope they make it look really awesome. Like the Dark Light on fire with more details. Bro.
I think Rice said they're moving away from that. I saw that today on Twitter. He's looking for new name suggestions.
No.
And it's going to be like more metallic-y than it is like on fire, I think. I think. I don't know, though.
The floor is wide open. It's we
Open
have really
floor
good
light.
artists. Yeah. Open floor light. Anyway. Spencer says, I've already done the quest. I don't care much about Demon Bane. If there's no prayers, I don't care about this quest. Oh, they've already done it, meaning in our story. I'm like, is this guy from the future? Do we have a time traveler in the chat?
My head
But
can't.
no,
He actually is from the future.
All right, Spencer.
He did it in an alternate universe.
Let me get those winning lottery numbers, and then we can do Xpwaste full time. Oxie's very sad old chair says, no favorites, just happy to see the new content.
Oh, my sad old chair.
Oh. VL Reed says, Firelight looks the best. And finally, on YouTube, Swole says, after listening, Firelight does sound nice, and it will bridge some of those large money gaps at bosses like Duke. Will be interesting to see how the staff works against demons. Also, Brumby. And apparently, Swole also commented on the community question on Spotify and said, Burning Claws, because when I heard the name, all I could think of was someone's fingernails covered in sriracha sauce wiping their ass. Burning nails activated. Ew. I think that may have been the flagged response. It was. Okay.
Swing, 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 swing.
That's so funny. So on Spotify, they'll hide certain responses and they'll put them in another category, and it's like flagged comments. And the reason I missed Swole's comment on Spotify was because it was one that was flagged. But we read it anyway because, like, yeah, they're being a little too harsh. That's it, guys. That's the community question section. Thank you so much for everybody who answered last week's question. This week's going to be, what is your sleeper quest suggestion? Yeah. Like, what's your favorite quest? If you have a sleeper suggestion that we may have missed, let us know. You can answer that in the community question section on Spotify or the pinned comment of this YouTube video. We are trudging along while Oxie is doing his favorite thing to do in the whole entire world. I'm going to be sifting through that document and finding us a fun question. So, Oxie, take it away.
Is trudging the right term? That was the shortest community question we've had in probably 2 years. I don't know if trudging is the right term. We're kind of cruising. And we're going to keep up the theme of cruising here, folks, because we don't have a lot of achievements. Not because you guys didn't do anything cool, because we only gave you guys like 5 days to do it. So the problem with these community section stuff is when we record outside of our usual cadence, if we skip a week, they're massive because we have like weeks of people built up. But if we expedite it by even a day, it's always a little bit shorter just because you guys don't have the same window. So if you guys don't get shouted out this week, specifically for Achievement of the Week, if you do something on Saturday or Sunday, like within our normal time frame, we'll get you guys next week. But this week, we only have a few. We have a few humble achievements. So kicking us off with a miscellaneous category, Green Ben got his quest cape, Raymer got his music cape, and Fizzman15 also got his music cape. Several thousand goblins had to die to get, I want to say it was Raymer's cape took thousands of goblins dead. And I think Nate helped Fizzman with his for the music capes anyways.
Hell yeah. In
the skilling portion, Danish Deity, like right after we stopped recording last week, got 99 thieving. Skalaxin got 99 mining. That's a big GZ for me, brother. Main sequence got 99 range. Forsaken V or Forsaken 5. After all these years, I feel like I've yet to figure out which one it actually is. Achieved 99 fletching. Elvish J with not many 99s left achieved 99 woodcutting. Indoor Kite achieved 99 herblore. Strom or Hannah-Karen, I don't have the name in front of me of what I think his IGN is, but I'm probably butchering it. But you know who you are, Strom. You got 99 crafting this past week. Walazer or Sutalu is actually who that is. I remember the name Sutalu from many achievements of the weeks ago. Many weeks of achievables past. I remember that name. But you got 99 prayer and max combat. The next person is Lack of Morels, which is a name I like a lot. Not because it's like lack of morals. It's spelled like the mushroom. Lack of morels. And I feel that because I too have a significant lack of morels in my life at the moment. You got 99 Hunter, untrimmed hunting cape. Pretty cool. Nate Dogg, my boy, my heart and soul, salt of the earth, co-captain of the year, finally got 99 magic. And Yas Girl Yas got their first 99 ever with 99 cooking. Additionally, to wrap up the skilling portion, White Light West achieved 2K total level. Welcome to the new worlds, brother. You will be there for a long time. God, it really is a long time from 2K to 2200, isn't it? You really don't think about it. But ending us off is the combat achievement section this week. We only have 4 achievements. You guys haven't really been in a killing mood this week. But again, it's not the weekend, so who knows? Maybe you guys are killing a lot more this weekend, and we'll have a bigger combat section next episode. Who knows? But Lost Leaf killed Gauntlet for the first time. Our boy Boston killed the Corrupted Gauntlet for the first time. Airmid or Juggerel, depending on how you know him as. Is it Juggerel? Ugrel? I'm not entirely sure with the pronunciation. But Airmid got the Elite Combat Achievement Diaries done with the best Slayer helmet in the game. And the same Sutulu W Laser Walaser, who we mentioned earlier, makes their second appearance of Achievement of the Week this week, achieving their quiver for the first time ever. They said, if I can do it, anybody can. So go do it. Go do it, guys. Absolutely go do it. So that's it. That's Achievement of the Week. We're done. Yeah. It's a short one this week. Yeah, it's a short one. We should have. I say we should have, like, I'm in control of that, when in reality you guys are in control of that. So, like, get together, folks. Start doing stuff. You hear this episode come out, you're like, oh my god, we didn't have nearly enough. I gotta do some stuff for Oxie to shout out in community question section, whatever this community section of the podcast is. I gotta start killing shit. I gotta go get my fire cape. I gotta get my infernal cape. I gotta do it.
I was trying, I was getting guilt tripped into people trying to get me to get my infernal cape. Don't do that. Get some help.
We weren't guilt tripping you on. Michael's referring to the stream, and we were saying that the funniest thing in the world would be for Michael to either A, max his group Iron Man before I max my main, or B, get an infernal max cape on his main before I have an infernal max cape on my main. He's not going to max his group Iron Man before me because I have 99 agility done and he does not. So even though rune crafting still stands in the way, mining, I'm not. Michael would get mining done, absolutely, but I know the agility grind is a long one. It's a long one to achieve. So I'm not worried about that. And every time we say the words Michael and Inferno in the same sentence, he thinks we're like trying to bully him into getting his cape immediately. He's like, stop it, guys. I can't. You don't understand. I don't know how many times I have to express. I just do not care. Okay, I don't care.
+1 max hit, guys. So cool.
It's never been about the max hit. And until you truly understand that, you will be a fire max caper. And that's okay.
Thank you for telling me. It's okay.
The funniest thing in the world, though, for you would be for you to get your infernal.
It would be hilarious. It would be hilarious.
Now's the time, Michael. Get her going. Get in there.
Anyway, you're gonna ask people if they awesome stuff where to post it.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We always do that at the. See, it's so short. It's throwing me off my groove. If you did something awesome this week, because I told you to, right? Get your shit together and start doing some awesome stuff, respectfully. Head over to discord.gg/OSRSTNL. Post about it in the levels and achievements chat. Even if it's an achievement that does not get shouted out on your way on Achievement of the Week here. If it's a quest that we talked about today that's been holding you back, if Whisperer took you 5 weeks, if Vanstrom took you 9 attempts, if the Menafite Ock took you 4 attempts, if for some reason every single quest boss in the game took you so much, if you sat at Leviathan and said, no, that tornado is a bad thing, I'm not going to touch it. If Vardorvis took you 6 attempts with an infernal cape on your back, post it for quests because most of those apply directly to me. But go ahead and post it. All achievements, we do love to see them. Call me biased. We do have a very supportive community here in TNL. The best place to learn content, hang out, meet new people, and just overall have a good time. The voice chats are bumping. Not as much as I would expect for a Friday night. I'm not going to lie. Kind of dead for a Friday night. But we still have multiple VCs active of people right now. People getting their diary capes. People getting their, just like doing raids, hanging out with the boys. So come hang out. We're the best RuneScape Discord in the world. Michael, my friend, what do you say we get a fun question going and we send these people off to bed? Or send these people off to work, because this episode comes out super early in the morning. What do you got for us, Michael?
This one is actually not from the document. I checked our fun questions section in Discord. If you're a patron, you can post in there. And we have one. Our tried and true poster of fun questions, Dinosaur, has given us yet another
The
fun
man.
question. Yes. He says, the boys called for more existential and sad fun questions in the newest
We did
episode.
not. We
So
absolutely
here we
did
go.
not.
Oxie, Michael, what is the most tragic thing that has ever happened to you in your RuneScape journey? Getting scammed? Losing an unsired pet before the changes? Something horrible
Uninsured pet.
that happened to you in the game that sticks with you to this day? And I want to read his. He said, mine was losing my first ever rune set in the Bounty Hunter Crater in 2008. I actually cried over that. I've been hacked and wiped a few times back in like 2011 to 2012. Lost hundreds of millions to that. But losing my first rune set to my own stupidity is one thing that hurts the most in my mind. Is there anything that like top of mind for you? I feel like I have talked about mine.
I want you to
at
go
some
first.
point. Okay. So I think it was a drop trick scam that I thought as like a kid I could overcome and be smarter than the scammers. I think that's what it was. Or I got lured into the wilderness. It was one of the two. But I lost my dragon plate legs in like 2008. I didn't know that barrows existed.
It's
I
the
had no
equivalent of
recollection.
losing like ancestral robe top nowadays.
Ugh.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it was bad. I was really mad. I remember the day it happened. I was really mad. And I remember the day it happened, right? But like I can't for the life of me remember if it was like I accidentally teleported into the wilderness and got PK'd, or if I was lured for some sort of drop scam or something. I don't remember. But losing my dragon plate legs was pretty devastating. And I'm pretty sure it was either 2007 or 2008. Because we were living in Texas at the time. I think there were like that time of my life is like such a blur. Being a teenager and being uprooted from your hometown and like moving to a completely different place, and like it just all that kind of has blurred together, and try to block a lot of it out. But RuneScape memories are forever. They're just kind of hazy. I think another sad memory, it didn't happen to me like just specifically me, but like losing love for the game because of all the changes that happened around that time. Specifically like free trade was pretty devastating for me in 2011, I think. Like I understand why they did it. There was real pressure from credit card companies, and like Jagex at the end of the day is a company and they have to, be able to survive as a company. So like I understand why they did it, but it really took a lot of fun out of the game for me whenever like, you can't trade with your friends freely. And there's no way around it. Like they tried their best, but as like a 17-year-old or 16-year-old, 17-year-old, I just didn't understand it, and I was pretty upset, and it ultimately drove me to quit the game more so than like EOC did, because I'm pretty sure I was like almost completely checked out by the time that EOC came out, and it was like the free trade going away that was really devastating for me. But we have old school RuneScape now, and I've sunk way too many hours into this game. I think the like unspoken third tragic thing is just the amount of hours I've played. What do you got, Oxie?
Oh man. I almost kind of wish that I had something as, how do I put this? Something as insignificant in the grand scheme of things as like losing a relatively easy to get back item. I almost wish I got like hacked as a kid and like lost my like 80K bank or whatever it was. Because devastating, yeah, but like I don't have anything like that. I think we can blame Dinosaur for the existential question. I think the most tragic thing that has probably ever happened in RuneScape it came about following the first ever bingo event here in TNL. We had a very good friend of ours who I had a gigantic falling out with at the time. It was a whole culmination of things. I'll keep the story brief, brief as it needs to be, but more or less, it wasn't great. It feels bad to like lose a friend over something, like disagreements in bingo. So like TLDR, a couple things had kind of stacked up and stagnated. There was like basically like trash talk against other teams, and the player who I was on a bingo team with got kind of upset and was like, all right, we'll do better, we'll like not be shitty about it. I'm like, okay, cool. And the whole thing kind of wrapped up with like, hey, TMD and I are going to play Minecraft with people we know like IRL, and she was just not very pleased with that, and that led to like a gigantic fight. And we really did try. I should say I really did try to make amends after the fact, and be like, hey, shit sucked and was competitive. We cool? And we were not cool. We absolutely were not cool. And I think, Jesus Christ, I remember I've got it saved somewhere in my Google Drive, because I wanted to I copied it to a Google Drive just in case the messages got deleted. It was like a 7,000 word expose about what a terrible person I am for all of the things that had transpired within the last couple of weeks. Just like dumb shit like that. And that was heartbreaking, man. That felt really bad. I don't particularly enjoy hurting people. And knowing that you cause someone that much pain, even if it doesn't make sense from your perspective as to why they're hurting, doesn't feel great. And I remember I was very upset talking to my significant other at the time about it. Like, I just because again, it sucks to know that like, damn, dude, I hurt a friend like that. That feels fucking bad. And many moons have passed since then. In the grand scheme of things, in TNL, that was a blip in the time frame that we have, created now. You figure I joined TNL in August of 2020, I think. The actual Discord server that you guys are all in today. I joined that server in August of 2020.
Two days after I did.
Yeah, in August of 2020. And I think she and I had our falling out like first or second week of September 2020. And the whole thing kind of came down to like, it was a very small group at the time, and it was like, hey, kick this piece of shit Oxie guy out or I'm gone. And nobody else really had any context for it. So they're like, no, we're not going to do that. And then she left. And I have I can't say I've legitimately not spoken to her. I ran into her happenstance once at Thermi. And I rocked up in my, melee, Infernal Cape, claws, whatever it was. And I right-clicked to see who it was, and I went, holy shit. Like, that's her. I like right-click, search the account. I'm like, dude, no, absolutely. It's got the same stats. It's the diary here. Absolutely. And I just said, whoa, howdy. She hopped and then came back to the world and was like, I still fucking hate you, by the way. I'm like, okay,
what
cool.
a grudge. Holy
it's
smokes.
been like 2 years, dog. Okay. So I mean, look, it didn't feel great at the time. I think we've moved past it, because obviously this community, this place has grown far beyond what we thought it was going to be back in that time frame in 2020.
We didn't even have a podcast back then.
there wasn't even a consideration for it. Yeah, it was a very, very
It was
long time ago. And I think overall, I would be, you know, I'm content with things now. Obviously, I don't like the way things went down, but Link, if you're out there, man, you still have a home at TNL. You can come hang. Not too many people are. There are some folks who are still around from back then. You figure Immortal's still around, Jesse's still around, me, you, Scape, TMD. A lot of us are still around from that first bingo. So, fall bingo's coming in October, probably November, maybe. We'll see what the time frame looks like for that event.
one of these days.
Yeah, it's coming. So you're welcome to come back and hang out whenever you like. Yeah, that's probably the most tragic thing that's ever happened to me in OSRS. So, like I said, fuck you, dinosaur. I wish I had something like I got PK'd for my trimmed rune in the 4th grade. I did not. I had a legitimate heartbreak falling out with an adult as an adult. So that's the tragedy. You guys wanted more existential. You said, please give us fun questions. And we said, how about fuck you guys? So that is going to wrap up the fun question, at least from me. That's going to wrap it up. So
That's it. Thank you, Dinosaur, for your therapy-inducing question here. It was wonderful.
It's not see, like, do you guys consider that therapy? Like, I'm just sort of talking about what happened. I don't know if that's.
I mean, if you go to therapy and you don't talk about your feelings,
I did go to therapy for it.
I
was already
therapy?
in therapy.
No, like you were talking about things from your past that are tough. You said stuff like, I don't like to hurt people. That's not who I am. Like that would be a conversation you could reasonably have in therapy. And the guy would go, huh, all right. How does it make you feel? And $90 later, you've got some wisdom and maybe some like self-reflection, and you know who you are. So I commend you, Oxie.
Thanks for teaching me about that, Michael.
I'm not teaching you. You forget that we have a podcast. So I'm talking to more than just you here. Anyway, Dinosaur, thank you for the question. If you guys have any ideas for fun questions, send them our way. This whole second half is literally nothing without you guys. Like we wouldn't be able to answer any of the community question stuff. We wouldn't have anybody's achievements to shout out. And Oxie and I would have to come up with our own fun questions. So we want this whole second half to be about y'all. And we wouldn't even have a Patreon section without all the wonderful people who support us on Patreon. So we wouldn't be able to do this second half if it wasn't for you. So if you have any questions that are fun or existential, send them our way. You can do so in a lot of different.
Just
okay,
fun.
so just fun.
No existential. No more. People don't want that.
Just fun.
I'm fine with that, but people don't want that. It makes for bad television. Don't do that.
Did your homophobic cat get the flag again? It's gone.
That bitch.
Not during Pride Month.
During Pride of all times.
We forgot to mention the Pride discount again.
Well, mention it now.
We're bad co-hosts. Anyway, send us a fun question. It's got to be fun. If it's existential, Oxie is going to cry, and he doesn't cry. Big girls don't cry.
Also, not true. Oxie
it's a song, Oxie.
I recognize that. Big girls don't cry, but I'm not a big girl, and I do cry about things. That said, I also have a super thick exterior and have heard horror stories you guys cannot possibly imagine. So getting hacked in RuneScape stories do not make me cry, but I do cry.
When's the last time you cried? I'm going to tell you right now, I cried today. Legitimate tears. And I actually cried 2 nights ago. Having a child will do that to you. Before I had a kid, like I cried like once every 6 months. Like, sometimes I think about people that I've lost in my life, and I'm like, yeah, that's really sad. But like having a kid, dude, boy howdy.
I think the last time it was like legitimate a lot, maybe like a little bit after my surgery, I think, so a couple months ago, You know, the last
Yeah.
like ugly cry, I guess. But
Yeah.
oh, we hit 98 fishing.
Jesus.
We hit 98 fishing, and I think if we I think if we keep going with the therapy stuff, we're gonna start losing viewers, and I don't want to do work on the podcast. So
Okay.
let's
That's going to do it
keep
for the
going.
show, guys. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to grab any sort of Xpwaste merch for the entire month of June, you can use the code PRIDE and it'll give you 15% off our entire store. And what that is going to do is you're going to get some Xpwaste merch, and we're going to donate 100% of our proceeds from the month of June to a charity that supports
What's the-
LGBTQ.
The one that Hannah's doing. That seems like a good one.
Oh, I didn't.
I think Jagex
Yeah,
and
she-
Hannah are both donating to the
nice.
same charity. So like, let's just hop on that bandwagon. I don't remember what it's called, but it's in her most recent video of like which letter is the best. It's a Pride is a competition, and I will.
Hell
win.
yeah. Yeah, check out Hanane's video. So if you want to grab some merch, use code PRIDE, PRIDE, for the entire month of June. Hopefully you've made it this far to listen and to get that bit of knowledge. I think next week I'm going to try and like get a right off the rip, because this is a deal that doesn't happen very often. So check out our merch store, xpwaste.shop. It'll be in the description. You can follow us on all of our social media. I probably will be live on the Twitch channel sometime this week. Like before this episode comes out, maybe. But after you hear this episode, I have Friday, I have Monday, I have Tuesday, and I have Wednesday off. After this episode,
So what I'm
gets
hearing
released.
is he's gonna be streaming a lot.
Yeah, bro.
Eesh.
Anyway, xpwaste.shop. You can follow us on all of our social media. Check out the Twitch channel. What am I missing? Patreon, and subscribe,
that's
like,
it.
and comment if we're on YouTube. But that's gonna do it for the episode, guys. You guys are awesome, and you deserve all of the good things to happen to you. So go this week, and may Guthix and Saradomin and Zamrock bless you. Bye.